The unseen worlds whisper secrets that few choose to hear. Since the ancient dawn, humanity has sought an elixir to erase the burdens of the waking world, to drink deeply and forget. And thus, alcohol became both refuge and ruin, its presence intertwined with the rites of kings and the follies of men. Yet behind the illusion of revelry, it weaves a deeper thread, one that binds the drinker to forces far beyond mere intoxication. What unseen entities stir when the spirit is altered? What price is paid when the mind wavers? What hidden truth did the sages of old strive to warn us against? Tonight, we step beyond the veil and into the shadows, where few dare to tread. The history of alcohol is not merely the tale of a substance, but a passage through the veiled corridors of human transcendence, alchemy, and divine communion. To truly grasp its essence, we must journey beyond time, to the ancient whispers of forgotten tongues, where the word itself carries a cryptic warning. In the mystic traditions of the East, the Arabic term Alkul was not merely a cosmetic powder for darkening the eyes, but a concept far more arcane, a phantom essence, an ethereal force that could be extracted, distilled, and transmuted. Among the secret teachings of the alchemists, Alkul was not seen as mere matter, but as a spirit that devoured the body, a spectral entity lurking within the elixirs of intoxication. Even now, in our modern age, we unknowingly call it by its ancient name, spirits. The great masters of wisdom have long warned of its peril. In the sacred halls of esoteric knowledge, sages spoke in hushed tones of the subtle dislocation alcohol imposes on the soul, loosening the ties between the physical and the spiritual. Rudolf Steiner, the visionary mystic, described it as a force that disrupts the etheric body, severing the divine thread that connects man to higher planes. The ancient yogis of India, too, knew this secret, calling it Samskara, an imprint that binds the spirit to the cycle of forgetfulness. What if alcohol is not merely a substance, but an ancient mechanism, one designed to lure the soul into the abyss of illusion? What if the true cost of indulgence is not of the body, but of the spirit? Across the echoes of time, mankind has sought communion with the unseen through sacred brews, elixirs that whisper of realms beyond the tangible. In the dim sanctuaries of Mesopotamia, wine and beer were not mere libations, but celestial offerings, poured in reverence to deities that wove the fabric of existence. The Egyptians saw wine as the blood of Osiris, the eternal force of renewal, a liquid thread binding mortals to the unseen cycle of life and death. In Greece, the followers of Dionysus drank not to forget, but to dissolve, seeking a rapturous bridge into the mysteries beyond perception. Yet within the goblet's depths lay both revelation and deception. The same draught that awakened divine ecstasy could also shroud the mind in illusions, leading the unguarded into a realm where shadows whisper and forgotten spirits linger. For the sages knew an ancient truth: what lifts the veil may also thicken the mist, and the seeker who drinks without wisdom may find themselves lost, not in the heavens, but in the labyrinth of the unseen. In the ancient corridors of Islamic alchemy, the term Alkul was far more than a mere designation for distilled spirits. It was a whisper from the unseen, a name laced with arcane significance. While the laws of men forbade its consumption, the seekers of hidden knowledge, those who understood the silent language of the elements, continued to refine the sacred art of distillation. To them, this process was not merely the extraction of liquid from matter, it was the unshackling of an essence, a force long imprisoned within the material world. Jabir ibn Hayyan, known to the West as Geber, was not just an alchemist, but a magus of transformation, one who beheld the veils between worlds as he deciphered the secrets of vapor and flame. Through his hands, the substance we now call alcohol was summoned forth, not merely as a drink, but as a spectral entity, a force capable of altering the very fabric of human perception. It was said that within each drop resided the echoes of something long forgotten, a volatile breath that could either illuminate or consume. Yet, as centuries unfurled, the purpose of this distilled spirit was twisted. What was once revered as a medium of transcendence, perhaps even a bridge to the divine, became a shroud, a substance that severed the seeker from the path of awakening. That which had once been a key to higher mysteries was transfigured into a tool of entrapment, dulling the senses, clouding the mind, and chaining the soul to the lower vibrations of existence. Thus, the liquid that once carried the breath of the unseen now whispers a different song, a lullaby that lulls humanity into forgetfulness, an illusion of liberation that in truth binds ever tighter. Since the dawn of time, mystics and initiates have understood that what we consume is not merely absorbed by the flesh, it imprints upon the soul. The ancient Egyptians spoke of the ka, that to drink is to invite the unseen. Alcohol is not merely a liquid coursing through the veins, it is an etheric solvent, dissolving the barriers that protect us from what lurks beyond. It weakens the aura, puncturing the luminous field meant to shield the soul. And in that moment of fracture, something enters. Rudolf Steiner warned that the imbiber becomes a beacon, an open gate through which wandering spirits may pass. It is not intoxication in the way we think, it is possession. Sue, beware, the silent thief of energy. Alcohol's deception lies not in the pleasure it gives, but in the light it steals. It is a master illusionist, offering warmth while draining the soul's radiance. The sages knew this, and so did the unseen ones who feed upon its effects. The drinker's essence is left scattered, their will no longer their own. One must ask, when the cup is raised, who is truly drinking? This is why many who indulge in alcohol report feeling as though they are adrift in a storm, emotionally unanchored, spiritually veiled, and mentally fragmented. What begins as a fleeting escape soon spirals into a rift between the self and the higher realms. The ancients understood this well. They spoke of alcohol as a force that does not merely dull the senses, but erodes the very fabric of one's spiritual presence. Its impact on the chakras is profound. Like a shadow creeping over sacred ground, alcohol overstimulates the root chakra, pulling the soul downward into the realm of primal desires and material survival, while simultaneously severing the golden thread that binds us to the divine through the crown chakra. This creates a perilous dissonance. The seeker, lost in fleeting pleasures, strays further from eternal wisdom. The emerald tablet of Hermes Trismegistus warns, "As above, so below, as within, so without." When the inner balance is shattered, the bridge to higher consciousness collapses. Great mystics have long sounded the alarm. Patanjali, in the Yoga Sutras, emphasized that purity of body and mind is the key to ascending the ladder of divine realization. Paramahansa Yogananda, in Autobiography of a Yogi, spoke of alcohol as a thief in the night, stealing the clarity of spirit and replacing it with an illusory glow, a counterfeit enlightenment that leads not to awakening but to deeper slumber. Even modern science, in its limited perception of the unseen, glimpses the consequences. Studies in neuroscience reveal that alcohol suppresses activity in the frontal lobes, the very seat of higher reasoning, discernment, and inner vision, yet the effects stretch far beyond the physical. In gatherings where alcohol flows freely, the energetic field of the space becomes heavy, turbulent and fragmented, like a temple overtaken by shadowed whispers. The vibrations of such places spiral downward, and the crowd, no longer sovereign over their own energies, becomes an open vessel for unseen influences. The wise have always cautioned against this. The ancient Essenes, mystics devoted to purity and divine communion, regarded intoxicants as veils between man and the celestial truth. The Hermetic masters spoke of the astral winds, unseen currents of force that, when disrupted by alcohol, can allow darker entities to take hold. And in the Sufi tradition, the poet Rumi, though speaking of divine ecstasy as a sacred intoxication, warned that the wine of this world was a false elixir, leading not to union with the beloved, but to forgetfulness of the soul's eternal home. To walk the path of illumination, one must remain clear, untethered by the weights of illusion. The question remains: will you choose to nourish the light within, or surrender to the shadows that beckon from the rim of the cup? Since the dawn of time, civilizations have danced with the intoxicating spirit of alcohol. The Sumerians poured sacred libations before their gods. The Egyptians honored Osiris with fermented elixirs, and the Dionysian rites of Greece blurred the line between ecstasy and divine madness. Yet beneath these ancient ceremonies lies an untold secret, one known only to the sages of forgotten ages. What was once revered as a bridge to the divine became a veil, a mirage shimmering on the horizon of the soul, luring seekers away from their true path. But there is hope. The human spirit, like the celestial constellations, is ever resilient. The sages of Lemuria, the mystics of Atlantis, and the initiates of the ancient temples understood the power of energy and vibration. They knew that through conscious intention, meditation, and sacred alignment, one could repair the fractures within the ethereal body. The great masters have spoken. Healing is possible, but it demands devotion, a sacred vow to transcend fleeting indulgences and reclaim one's divine birthright. The choice stands before you. Will you continue to sip from the chalice of illusion, or will you drink from the eternal wellspring of truth? For centuries, humanity has been ensnared by the illusion of liberation. We raise our cups in celebration, believing we have found freedom, yet we are merely shackled by unseen chains. Why do we return to that which diminishes us? Why do we crave that which dims the inner light? It is because we have forgotten. Deep within, buried beneath the weight of time and conditioning, lies the remembrance of who we truly are. Beings of boundless potential, not bound by material intoxications, but fueled by the radiant essence of the cosmos itself. You have heard the call. The echoes of the ancients stir within you. The veil is lifting, the illusion crumbling. Step beyond the mirage. Step into your true self. The path is before you. Will you take the first step? Since the dawn of time, humanity has sought to escape the confines of the physical, yearning for a return to the vast, infinite cosmos. We have wandered the paths of mysticism, delved into ancient wisdom, and experimented with countless elixirs in pursuit of liberation. And yet, through the ages, one substance has remained, a door that opens both to transcendence and destruction: alcohol. The Hermetic tradition reminds us that humanity is in constant pursuit of unus mundus, the primordial unity, a state of absolute harmony with the universe. But when we turn to alcohol to fill the void within, we choose the wrong path. Alcohol offers an illusion of wholeness, a fleeting moment where one feels immersed in something greater than the self. But it is a mirage, dissolving into emptiness the moment the effects wear off. So, are you truly drinking the alcohol, or is the alcohol drinking your soul? Plato once said that the soul must be liberated from worldly illusions to reach the highest truth. Lao Tzu, in the Tao Te Ching, taught that peace is not found in excess or escape, but in harmony with the natural flow of the Tao. Yet, alcohol leads us down a different road, a path of confusion and forgetfulness. It silently weaves a pattern of dependence, drawing us away from inner tranquility and into a cycle of artificial relief. When life feels overwhelming, Alcohol presents itself as a temporary comfort. When reality becomes unbearable, it cloaks us in a mist of forgetfulness. But as the fog lifts, the shadows of fear, emptiness, and doubt return, stronger, deeper. Are you running from yourself? Are you seeking liberation, or are you binding yourself to a cycle of illusion? Across all great spiritual traditions, Buddhism, the Vedic scriptures, Islamic mysticism, one warning remains constant. Alcohol is not just a substance of the body, it is a substance that alters the unseen, weakening the spirit and making one vulnerable to forces beyond perception. In shamanic traditions, alcohol is believed to weaken the light body, the protective energy field that keeps one aligned with the universe. Hermetic mystics saw it as a dual symbol, both a tool of alchemy and a potential agent of chaos. While it could extract the essence of substances, it could also fragment the human spirit, leaving one open to dark influences. When we drink, we do not simply lose clarity. We unlock doors we may not be prepared to walk through, doors that allow energies beyond our comprehension to seep into our field. Perhaps this is why the masters of old cautioned their disciples to keep their mind and spirit pure, avoiding that which clouds the inner light. But there is another way, a way that does not rely on escape, but on confrontation. A way where one no longer seeks comfort in a bottle, but instead finds it within. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you no longer needed alcohol? If you could face your fears without numbing them? If you could attain peace, not through intoxication, but through awakening? True freedom is not found in indulgence, nor in extreme denial, but in balance. We do not need to seek something external to fill the void within. The wholeness we seek has always been there, buried beneath the illusions we cling to. Alcohol may bring temporary forgetfulness, but truth can never be forgotten. We do not need an artificial key to unlock the door to freedom, for that door has never been locked. So what is the truth? Alcohol is powerful, undeniably so, but its power lies in its ability to reflect the absence of something deeper. It does not offer true liberation. It only delays the inevitable realization that fulfillment cannot be found outside oneself. Are you willing to trade your inner light for a moment of forgetfulness? Or will you walk a different path, a path of clarity, self-mastery, and true alignment with your essence? The choice has always been yours, but remember this, you do not need a drink to be free. You have always been free. Through the corridors of time, where echoes of ancient wisdom still whisper, humanity has long wandered in search of liberation. We have explored the origins of alcohol, unmasked the illusion it weaves, and heeded the warnings of mystics who glimpse the hidden dangers. But now we arrive at the threshold of the ultimate question. How does one sever the chains of dependence? How does the seeker transcend the physical, emotional, and spiritual bindings that tether them to the ephemeral, unveiling the luminous path of clarity and divine communion? The first step is always awakening. In the silent sanctuaries of the self, where the light of consciousness flickers, a realization dawns. Alcohol, like the mirage upon the desert sands, offers an illusion of solace, yet it is a veil obscuring the soul's true radiance. The great mystics knew this well. They spoke of mankind's yearning to drink from the cup of oblivion, mistaking intoxication for transcendence. Yet the true elixir of the gods was never found in the fermented fruits of the earth, but in the nectar of self-realization, that sacred force dwelling within, awaiting the moment of rediscovery. To break free from this cycle, the seeker must turn inward, where the eternal answers reside. The sages of lost civilizations, from the temples of Atlantis to the mystery schools of Chem, ancient Egypt, understood that the body is but a vessel, a sacred temple where the spirit communes with the divine. They practiced alchemy of the soul, transmuting base desires into spiritual gold through meditation, breathwork, and sacred movement. The emerald tablets of Thoth whisper of this truth. Man is in bondage to illusion until he awakens the light within. Thus, the path to liberation is a return, a homecoming to the self. The mystic ascends through the corridors of silence, where the distractions of the world fade, and the song of the soul grows clear. Through the ancient rites of yoga, the rhythmic invocations of prayer, and the communion with the natural world, the seeker purifies the temple of their being, restoring balance to the sacred energy field that alcohol once fractured. Even in the wisdom of the East, the Buddha spoke of the perilous fog that clouds the mind when intoxication takes hold. The Taoists warned that the flow of energy, qi, the life force of the cosmos, becomes stagnant when one is veiled by the toxins of indulgence. And in the distant echoes of the Vedantic scriptures, the rishis taught that only a mind untainted by illusion could perceive the light of Brahman, the ultimate reality. But there is hope. The darkness of ignorance is powerful, yet it crumbles before the dawn of awareness. The Hermetic sages knew this well. As above, so below, as within, so without. That which is distorted within can be purified, aligned, and restored. Through the sacred alchemy of gratitude, one learns to see abundance, not lack. Through immersion in nature, one reattunes to the cosmic rhythm, and through the practice of stillness, the great secret is revealed. What we sought beyond was always within. There is an old tale, whispered in the dimly lit chambers of the seekers' sanctuaries, of a man who, weary of his suffering, climbed the highest peak to seek counsel from the sage of the mountain. He begged to be freed from his vices, from the cravings that consumed him. The sage merely smiled and handed him a cup. "Drink," he said. The man, hesitant, peered inside, only to find the cup empty. "But there is nothing here," he said. The sage nodded. "And yet you thirst." In that moment, understanding dawned. His craving was never for the drink, but for something deeper, something lost, something forgotten. And so it is with all who seek. The illusion is not in the substance, but in the belief that it holds the key to our fulfillment. Are you ready to put down the cup? To awaken to the truth that the nectar of the divine has always flowed within you? The journey awaits. The veil is lifting. Will you step into the light? Community is not merely a gathering of souls, but a convergence of energies, a sacred alignment where those seeking the path of liberation find resonance with one another. The journey toward freedom is not meant to be walked in solitude. Rather, it is a sacred pilgrimage undertaken with kindred spirits, those who hear the silent call of awakening. Surround yourself with those who hold the light, those whose presence amplifies your ascent. The mystics of old, whether in the monastic enclaves of the Himalayas, the secluded temples of Egypt, or the hidden sanctuaries of the Essenes, knew this truth, that true transformation is ignited through communion with those who understand the mysteries of existence. Yet no soul ascends without first embracing the weight of its past. Forgiveness is not merely an act of release. It is an alchemical transmutation of the soul's burdens into wisdom. As Rumi whispered through the corridors of time, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Every scar, every regret, every moment of perceived failure is but a doorway, waiting to be opened, waiting for the divine light to transform sorrow into strength. The ancient adepts of the Vedas spoke of samskaras, the imprints of past actions that weave the tapestry of our present being. But they also spoke of liberation, the power to sever these bonds and step beyond the cycle of repetition. Breaking free from alcohol is not merely abstinence from a substance, it is the dissolution of illusion, the reclaiming of your divine sovereignty. Visualize this transformation not as an absence, but as an emergence, a phoenix rising from the ashes of its former self. Even the mightiest tree, after enduring the silence of winter, bursts forth in an explosion of life, its branches adorned with the sacred script of renewal. So too does the soul, when it steps beyond the veils of illusion, recognize its eternal connection to the great cosmic current. Alcohol has been a shadow along your path, but do not fear shadows, for they only exist where there is light. The ancient sages knew that the soul, when unshackled, could pierce the veil of material existence and touch the infinite. The question remains, will you heed this call? Will you step beyond the illusions of fleeting escape and walk into the brilliance of your own divine reality? The door stands before you. Will you walk through it? If this message resonates with you, if you seek to uncover the unseen, the forgotten, and the forbidden truths of existence, then join us on this journey. Subscribe to Path to the Unknown, where mysteries unfold, wisdom awakens, and the veils of illusion dissolve. Your path has led you here for a reason. Embrace the unknown, for it is within the unknown that the deepest truths are revealed.